Hey everybody, Mark Johnson here, founder and creative director of Abe Studios, back again with another vlog. I believe this vlog number 32. And just right off the bat, hope everyone has had a wonderful Labor Day weekend. It kind of signals it's like the unofficial end of summer, you know. That's kind of always the way I've looked at it. It's kind of the sense that I get when it's like the last kind of like holiday, school's back in, you know, things are definitely changing, and you can see it in the trees. I mean, I don't necessarily know where you live, but around this time I start seeing the trees change colors, drying out, and it just kind of gives me this idea of loss, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not one of those people that hate the hot weather. I mean, here in Chico it does get really hot, but I know there's people, by the time Labor Day comes around, they're ready to dive into fall and count winter, you know, right around the corner. I'm not necessarily one of those people. I mean, I enjoy the warm weather, the outdoor activities, and those kind of things. And so, you know, I appreciate the summer when it's here. But there is something that just kind of comes on me that kind of motivates me to kind of get prepared for the fall and the winter. Because you know, obviously you're indoors, things are a little bit, you know, daylight saving time and those kind of things happen, and so it kind of keeps things indoors. You know, unless you're outside, you're all bundled up, and when the weather changes, if it's raining or it's cold. But yeah, I mean, I always kind of get a little more motivated because I feel it's kind of maybe getting close to the end of the year. You know, the holidays are around, and so I really try to work myself into getting more things done. I'm trying to get more things done, and so that's kind of what Labor Day and the unofficial end of summer kind of triggers for me. But yeah, again, hope everyone's had a great Labor Day. As for myself, I completed recently an article for Videomaker magazine. The actual magazine that it will show up in will be called the Creator's Handbook, but it's through Videomaker magazine, and I've been writing for them for a while. I enjoy writing or getting the assignments and then writing them, because for whatever reason I always get an assignment that is something that I need to be learning. I think, or at least researching, just kind of know how things work. And so the article that I got this time around was for how to avoid getting strikes on YouTube, because there's this trend that's been going on for, you know, a matter of years now. I don't necessarily know when the very first video came out, but it's called content curation. And so in a sense, what a YouTube channel will do, or a YouTube creative channel will do, will curate content that is not necessarily theirs. You know, and I've seen in the research that I did, I've seen people do it very eloquently, you know, and create content that's very interesting, really engaging. And I've also seen people who create content that's just kind of really just kind of a mishmash of videos put together. And so the question was, or what we're supposed to find out through this article, is how are these channels doing it? You know, how are they getting away from getting strikes on YouTube? And what people get strikes for on YouTube, if you didn't know this, is because they are using copyrighted content, be it, you know, video clip, a movie clip, a song. I think a lot of people do use songs and realize that they shouldn't be using that song because they're going to get a strike. And on YouTube, if you get 3 strikes, then they take a channel from you and completely shut you down. So you want to avoid that basically as much as possible. And so in this article, I had to kind of research how, or what is a curation channel, or a content curation channel. And like I said, it's just kind of really people using, I guess, copyrighted content to either make a point, or, you know, make a joke, or even just show or explain something. And so what I had to find out, which is one of the major parts of this whole thing, is that people are getting sued out of this. You know what I'm saying? People are getting sued. There's lawsuits that are being put against other YouTube channels because they're using content that is copyrighted. And so the question was, how are these curation channels, which are majority of other people's work, how are they getting away with it? And so in my research, I found that there's this thing called fair use. And fair use basically is like a law or a clause that states how you are supposed to use copyrighted content, or how you can use it. And there's basically 3 ways that they do that. So basically, you can use it for critique, you can use it for commentary, or you can use it for parody. In those 3 things, there are actually 3 other questions, which is, are you using the content so basically, the content that you're using, is it clear to the viewer why you're using it? You know what I'm saying? I think the other question that you need to ask is, how the amount that you're using, is it enough? Is it too much? Is it, because you want to use enough just to make your point, if that's what it is, or make the joke that you're trying to make. I think the other one is, again, is it going to be clear to the viewer that you are using for those reasons? And so in the research that I found, it really showed that a lot of channels are just kind of blatantly just kind of burning up the internet by stealing other people's content, and it's obviously they're probably not thinking of it as stealing. They're probably thinking they're using it to kind of really show what they wanted to do. But under fair use, there's ways that you can use it, and it's okay, and you will avoid a strike on YouTube using it in that way. And there are definitely channels out there that are just kind of, like I said, just burning up the internet, stealing other people's content, and it's probably because they're not that big of a channel. Maybe they're put a little disclaimer in the description box below the video that's not their content, and that's not really what is that? That's not the proper use. And so what I also put in my article is the best practices to kind of find content, and also to share the content or curate the content. And so that article should be coming out. I don't think it's going to come out this issue, probably next month, which will be October. But like I said, the information that I had to research was just so interesting, and so I always enjoy getting an assignment from YouTube or from Videomaker magazine, because it's just kind of right on time. It's just so timely. I know I at one point was wondering how all these movies are coming out on Netflix, and then I got assigned an article on how to get your video, your movie, whatever it is, your project distributed through Netflix. And so I had to go and research that. So it was just really, really cool. So I really appreciate being able to do this. It gives me an opportunity to, work my writing muscles as well, and work on a timeline, or a deadline. So I'm always excited to get those. Outside of that, for myself, I've been working on my regular projects, and I'm seeing those really come together. I think one of the things that I'm doing just to kind of give myself an idea of how much longer is just kind of really look where I'm at, see what I can get done on each particular project within an hour, and just kind of divide that by whatever's left, and then it kind of gives me an idea of how much more I need to go. And so as I've been doing that, that's also been helpful, because it's given me added motivation to kind of even work harder on these projects and kind of get them pushed out. So I'm excited for that. Just keep working. I just gotta keep working. And I think also again, like I've said, the change in the change in the year or the seasons, that's always motivating, because I know that the end of the year is coming close, and I was trying to get a lot of these done within the year, because they are pretty big projects, and I kind of really divide up my time through multiple ones to kind of get it done. So definitely working on that, definitely staying motivated and staying positive and focused. So that's kind of where I'm at. Hope everyone is out there having a good week, or at least the start to their week. I know my past week, a week that I missed, was filled with a little bit, just kind of really trying times, stressful moments, but and that's probably why I didn't post this last one recently. And so I'm excited to kind of get back into the groove, and what I want to be able to do with this, again, I'm going to try to hold myself to it, but try to add a little more information that can be useful to someone, rather than just talking about my past week and the things that I worked on. But I'm excited for the opportunity. Hope everyone, again, like I said, is off to a great week. And like we always do at this time, have a blessed day. See you on the flip side. Let's go.